Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Dalton, Georgia. Thought I'd do a Sunday live stream. Believe it or not, it's almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit here today, which blows my mind being in the middle of November. Thought I'd enjoy the afternoon here watching trains on Norfolk Southern and CSX. Sounds like the CSX local is somewhere in the area. I hear some radio chatter. Sounds like a local crew is switching, so it's always a good sign. Hope everyone is having a great Sunday so far. I wasn't totally sure about doing a live stream today. Wasn't thinking, that it would be very popular with football going on and everything, but I figured, you know what? Why not? It's a beautiful day. Let's watch trains. So here I am. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to my mom who's watching the live stream right now in Michigan. Not really sure what this par to trail thing is, but they're like promoting some sort of golfing thing here at the freight house. Transport Josh says, not all of us watch football. That's true. I mean, I don't. Look where I'm at. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since I decided to go watch trains and do a live stream, so I thought I'd do another one. It's always good to sit and hang out here at the depot in Dalton. Buddy Burton Photography says, you're in the 80s and cloudy. We're in the 40s and cloudy in Iowa. Wow. The Maryland Rail Fanner tuning in. Hey there, hope you're doing well. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. I see we've got about 50 people watching right now. If all of you would take just a second to hit that like button, it helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Atlanta Railfan Productions tuning in. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Jason True. Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, this location does have a virtual railfan cam. If you look just above the balloons, right above my finger there, you can kind of see the camera that faces south. Definitely don't ever intend to compete with virtual railfan. That's not what I do. These live streams are more of, hey, I'm watching trains. Maybe you guys want to hang out with me, that kind of a thing. Train Traveler says, I find myself watching a delay in block stream. Nice. Bradley Dorr says, I'm just south of you at Lindale. Cool. Scott McPherson says, good warm afternoon from Charleston, South Carolina. Railfan BNSF 4523 says, I'm in the 50s and 40s in California, quite cold. Yeah, Jason, I heard you swung by the office. Make sure next time when you come for a visit that you check in with someone before walking all the way through the building. We just like to know, when we have visitors, so everybody knows who's in the office. Hey, thanks, Matthew. Matthew says, hey, Drayton, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you. Train Traveler says, I was in Lula yesterday. I'm assuming you mean Lula, Mississippi. Adam Lansing says, the time change is great because it makes the weekend feel a lot longer. Superforged Bruce tuning in. Hey Bruce, hope you're doing well. I couldn't believe how I cannot believe how warm it was this morning when I walked out to take our dogs for a walk. Got 40 people watching right now. Where's everybody from? A couple people said California. Someone left a dog bowl here. Man, Mom, smoked brisket. That sounds really good. West Virginia, Gainesville, Texas, Northport, Florida, Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Hey, I've been to Spruce Pine before. That's a beautiful area. Gainesville, Georgia, Big Stone Gap, Virginia. Home of Ron Flannery. Worcester, Massachusetts. CPKC Rail Fan says, hello, Drayton, Shreveport, Louisiana. Awesome. Double Diamond Railroad says, Lebanon, Tennessee. So, how do you pronounce it? Is it Cleburne? Cleburne, Texas? Clayburn? I've always wondered how it was pronounced. That's where the Santa Fe had their shops, where they did all those CF7 rebuilds, if I'm not mistaken. We've got 50 people watching now. If you're just tuning in, we are live here in Dalton, Georgia, watching trains on Norfolk Southern and CSX. I'm laughing because that balloon tower behind me decided to fall down. It was in my shot, so I moved it. They could have tied it down to a chair or something. So, Cleburne or Clayburn? Because I said two different things. Cleburne. Okay. Fair enough. It's the thing about making railroad videos. If you visit these towns that you've never been to before, you're subject to mispronouncing it, and people will call you out right away for it. For instance, in Michigan, there's a town called Charlotte, and, you know, anywhere else it'd be Charlotte. But, you know, you just gotta know your pronunciations. A lot of times what I'll do is I will call, like, the library or something like that. I'll find the number on Google Maps. I'll call them. I'll ask them how they pronounce the name. Or a lot of times they'll just say, you know, Cleburne Public Library. I can't even talk. Cleburne Public Library. There we go. Sounds like we have a southbound Norfolk Southern train that should be here pretty soon. I did not bring the drone. You can't really fly the drone and do a live stream at the same time. At least not with a phone, because you got to have the phone to fly the drone. Nevada? Is that seriously how they pronounce it? Where is that? That is very redneck, I must say. Yeah, and it's Joliet. Joliet, Illinois. Not Joliet. Joliet. That's one that people get wrong often. And let me tell you, it drives me crazy. And I'm not even from Illinois. Oh, see, Carter, we've got a ways. It's if it's at Waring, I mean, it'll be here in at least 5 minutes. We do have a southbound Norfolk Southern train. Well, I'll just give you an example. In Kentucky, there's a town, it should be pronounced Versailles, like in France, like the Versailles Treaty, but they pronounce it phonetically, so they call it Versailles. And let me tell you, if you were in Kentucky and you said, yeah, I'm going to Versailles, everyone local would be like, you're going where? Because honestly, I think most people in that part of Kentucky have never even heard of Versailles before. If you're just now joining us, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. You can support the channel through PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat, or Cash App. Links are in the video description. For those who make contributions today, you'll get a link to my next several YouTube videos. You'll get to see them about a month before everyone else gets to. Yeah, Jason True says, don't forget about Lafayette, which is also stupid. It's Lafayette. The Indiana Hicks can say it right. Michael Bridenstine says, growing up pretty close to Joliet in Aurora, I never realized that there was a problem with Joliet. Yeah, dude, no one can ever pronounce it right. It drives me absolutely nuts. It's a Joliet. Appreciate you guys tuning in and spending your Sunday here with Delay in Block Productions. If you're just now tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. And be sure to hit that like button. Our first train of the day is almost here. Yeah, that's incredible, buddy. I've heard of that town, county, whatever. They do have some strange names and places in Kentucky. If I'm not mistaken, there is a place in Kentucky called Salt Lick. There's just a bunch of weird names, especially in eastern Kentucky. No, we are going to be staying live all afternoon. Someone just asked if after this train the live stream's going to end. No, we're gonna be streaming live pretty much the rest of the day until it gets dark. So happy to be hanging out with you guys here today in Dalton, Georgia. Well, I'll be honest, Typo isn't very much of a city. It's more of a community. Typo is like nothing. Tate Carlson is asking how Southerners pronounce Lafayette. And honestly, I think it's just Southerners here in northern Georgia, but they call it Lafayette. Not Lafayette, Lafayette. That one always gets me. Sterling, you should come and hang out. Mason Long says he's watching from Colorado. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Gets this stream out to more people. Our first train is just a few minutes away. It's a southbound Norfolk Southern train, and for those unfamiliar, Norfolk Southern and CSX trains cross each other here. And this is the old Southern Railway freight house. The diamond is just over there, just to the left of that light pole. That's okay, Sterling. Appreciate you saying hi. Amtrak and NS fan 457 says, I'm watching from the Louisville area. Now, that's a town that you definitely have to pronounce right if you're in Kentucky. It's Louisville. In Kentucky, there is no such thing as a ville. It's all vol. How'd everybody like that extra hour of sleep this morning?
AC Special Jack, yes, 0806, clear bank, track back to normal Durango. 80806, clear to everything resource for me, line move, thank you. That is correct, have good. Been reported as normalized.
Looks like we got some folks tuning in from Delaware and Ohio.
Alpha 36.2, no defects.
Christopher Spinney watching from New Hampshire. So it sounds like the Norfolk Southern train is very close. And also we've got a CSX local.
36.2, no defects.
No, today is definitely not a 24-hour live stream attempt. I actually have to work tomorrow. And Train Fest in Milwaukee is next weekend, so it's a very busy week at Scale Trains. So I will be ending the live stream once it gets dark. But we're going to be live all afternoon, so if you guys enjoy watching trains, or if the weather's crappy where you live and you can't watch trains today, appreciate you hanging out here with me on this live stream. Make sure you hit the like button. Helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. I see we've got about 100 people watching right now. If all of you take just 2 seconds to hit that like button, it'll really help out with this stream. If you want to go the extra mile, you can support the channel through PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat, or Cash App. Your support really helps me be able to produce high-quality railroad videos. I've got a lot of really exciting new videos coming up. And no, they aren't re-uploads. A lot of people have been asking, why do I re-upload videos? And honestly, it's either because the information in the original video is incorrect. There might be some historical or technical information that needs to be redone. Or I just wasn't happy with my original voiceover. And as a matter of fact, we recently brought on a new narrator. His name is Dave. A lot of people asked about his voice in the most recent video, which was a remastering of the Max in Montana video on the BNSF Railway Butte subdivision. And they were like, hey, is that the 7 Idea Productions guy? And no, it is not the 7 Ideas production guy. I will say I love 7 Idea. I've watched their videos since I was a young kid, and it makes me happy to hear that people like the voice and have been comparing it to 7 Idea because they just do such a great job on their videos. So this is not Dave. Jim Aviation says, hi, Dave, but this is Drayton. I'll be narrating some of the videos still, but for now, new content is going to be narrated by my friend Dave. Tate Carlson says, Dave is an awesome narrator. I agree. Someone says, if we only had Danny Harmon as one of the voices, that'd be nice, but, Danny is so busy with his job, and also he has his own YouTube channel, and people associate his voice with Distant Signal, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for him to do voiceovers for me. I think it would honestly take away from what he's doing, and I really respect his work. I want his work to stand out on its own, and I agree. Yeah, nobody holds a candle to Danny Harmon. Honestly, my favorite voice of all time for narrating railroad videos is Dan DuVry from Pentrex. I think he's the gold standard. And as far as modern day goes, I would definitely say Danny Harmon. But love Danny, love his videos. He's a really great guy. I know I wouldn't be doing what I do with this channel without his inspiration and without Pentrex and 7 Idea and Green Frog and a lot of these other what I would call legacy video production companies. And I wish them continued success. It's been great to see what Danny is doing. And I also want to say Sterling, my friend Sterling, Ravenhawk 6910, who just commented and said, Danny is who everyone looks to as the standard for railroad narration on YouTube. He's what inspired me to make my own videos. Absolutely. I was going to say Sterling has a great voice. You ought to check out some of his videos. Sterling narrated a really great video on a scale trains model, a Canadian Pacific GEVO recently. You ought to check out that video. I was very impressed with it. Sterling's also narrated a video on delay in block. We hosted a documentary on the Tennessee Central Railway a few years ago, and Sterling was the voice of that video. So Sean Powell says, Danny is awesome, and you are as well, Drayton. And here's our very first southbound train. Westfield Community Programming says, it's not so much about the voice, it's about the delivery, and Drayton, you do a great job with your pacing and storytelling ability. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And here's our first southbound train. It's a Norfolk Southern train. And hopefully it'll be the first of many trains today here on the live stream. If you're just now joining in, we are here at Dalton, Georgia, watching trains on Norfolk Southern and CSX. Make sure you hit the like button. Let us know where you're watching from, and consider supporting the channel through PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat, or Cash App. Those who contribute monetarily will get early access to our latest YouTube videos. Here's our first train, everybody. Enjoy. Oh my gosh, it's a military train. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. If you hear me talking, I'm doing a live stream. People are watching the trains go by.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
All right.
Pretend I'm not here. I actually, what is all this?
It's disc golf.
Is that part of the rail to trail par thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it like a popular thing? Like, I've never heard of it before.
It's getting real popular, yeah.
That's cool.
They just opened this course up like yesterday.
So is this, like, do people, like, you guys, do you come just to play on this?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Play here, then walk over, block. There's 2 more holes, and then end up on the other side of downtown. There's 8 holes in all.
That's really cool. So that it's like a way of getting people to go all over town, and
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's really what it is, just getting people walking around.
That's awesome. I moved the tower of balloons because it was kind of in the way of my shot. I make videos about trains and stuff, so this is like one of the best places to watch trains in the South. So, yeah.
You're not from here?
I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
I live in Cleveland, so yeah.
I've never seen that before. The military.
Well, that's rare. I had no idea that was coming. I mean, you might only see those like once a year if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So they're probably moving equipment from one base to another. I'm guessing all that equipment was from like out west because those were Union Pacific engines. But anyway, but y'all do your thing. So I had absolutely no idea that the military train was coming. That was really cool for having a first train. Cleveland, Tennessee. That's where I live. Awesome. Let's get some likes for the military train.
What a shot. Hey, that's not OB. It's not back. Hey, Will, I got back in that. No, I'm good where I am. I don't care where I'm at. They kind of keep up. There's a huge pop.
So apparently there's a southbound CSX train coming soon.
No.
Man, what a first train of the day. I honestly really wish I had my actual camera out for that. I had no idea that was coming through. But honestly, some surprises like that are really cool.
Dude, I can lay up right here.
One of the guys lost their frisbees.
It was playing. He was asking if he wanted to go play basketball. Oh my god.
Yeah, Cleveland is kind of a weird place. It's like, it's an older town, and it's really grown a lot over the last 20 years. Like, the infrastructure in Cleveland is basically built for a city like maybe the size of like 20,000 people. But it's grown so much over the last 2 decades because of Chattanooga. Like, people don't want to live in Chattanooga because of taxes and the traffic and all that good stuff. So people locate outside of Chattanooga, and Cleveland's where they settle. So Cleveland really doesn't have much of a downtown. It's like small town USA, but it's expanded so much. Like, basically Cleveland is strip mall city. It's not anything to write home about. Shout out to Tate Carlson for that super chat. Thanks so much for that. Make sure you send me an email, delayinblockproductions@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link to my next several YouTube videos. You'll get to see them about a month before everyone else. So Appreciate that, man. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Yes, taxation is theft. Honestly, like, the military train, that made it all worth it. I really wish that I knew it was coming through, because I totally would have had my actual camera. That was awesome. Yeah, MB Rail says Cleveland is overpopulated. I agree. Cleveland is 1,000% overpopulated. I want to say it's like 80. The humidity isn't too bad today, but let me tell you, when I walked out this morning to walk the dogs, I broke a sweat. Hot Lana. That's what we call it down here. If you haven't done it yet, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Our second train here today is a southbound CSX, and it should be here within the next 10-15 minutes or so. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're just tuning in, let us know where you're from. No, it definitely does not feel like November. Yeah, I didn't know that Cleveland had a Tennessee. LOL. I didn't realize that Tennessee had a Cleveland until I moved down here. Comes a CSX truck. First time I've ever seen anything like that. Wonder where he's headed. It's funny, like, those of you who watch my videos regularly, if you go and watch that video that I did, farewell to the Amtrak P-42s, there's a lot of footage from my hometown in Jackson, Michigan. And the thing about it, my hometown has a population of like 32,000. But we have like a legit downtown. Like, we have tall buildings that are like 13, 14 stories tall. But Cleveland, where I live now here in Tennessee, doesn't have tall buildings at all. Like, downtown Cleveland reminds me of like a very small Midwest town in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no significant buildings or anything like that whatsoever. Here comes the CSX guy again. Nice guy. Yes, that's a high rail truck. I'm guessing he's a signal guy. Yeah, it's just kind of strange because, like, my hometown has less of a population than where I live now, but has a much larger downtown with tall buildings. And then where I live here in Cleveland, Tennessee, it's like I said, small town USA downtown, but there's way more people that live in Cleveland. The traffic's terrible. The roads are the traffic's terrible. The roads are terrible. The way the city is laid out, all of it's just really bad. Yaka. Believe it or not, there is a town not too far from Chattanooga called Yaka, Alabama. Unfortunately, there's no railroad that runs there. Otherwise, I would totally make some railroad videos there. And ladies and gentlemen, here is our first southbound CSX train. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Consider supporting the channel through PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat, or even Cash App. Those who contribute monetarily will receive a private link to my next several YouTube videos. You'll get to see them about a month before everyone else. It's just a small thank you for supporting the channel. Your Super Chats, your monetary contributions allow me to travel so I can continue to make high-quality content. Appreciate your support. A Super Chat as little as $1 will get you early access. Sounds like we have another GEVO. Oregon Railfan 216 asks, have I been to all 50 states? No, I've been to, I think 44. No, 42. 42. Here we go. CSX southbound. Wonder if this train's gonna have a DPU. Interesting. No DPU. Scott Skojo says that he's been enjoying the Delay in Block channel. Thanks so much, Scott. I really appreciate that. There's 162 people watching right now. If you guys haven't done it yet, smash that like button, ring the bell for notifications, so you'll be notified every time we go live and every time we release a new video. If you're just now tuning in, we are live from Dalton, Georgia on Norfolk Southern, the H line that runs between Chattanooga and Atlanta, and the CSX W and A sub, Western and Atlantic. It's owned by the state of Georgia, and CSX, going all the way back to the L&N days, the Civil War, has leased this line. Man, that truck that's parking over there really needs some new brakes. Hey there, Kirk. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Kirk Bailey, friend of mine from the Chattanooga area. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Really nice day to watch trains here in Dalton. Someone asks, what is a Thunder Cab? A Thunder Cab is a locomotive that does not have an isolated cab. What that means is the cab is basically a lot louder inside. Doing pretty good, Kirk. Thanks for asking. Yeah, Matthew, I'd really like to get down to Waycross one day. Have never been there before.
We did not. We got 3 yesterday, but we got another game today. We lost. Thank you, sir.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I don't mean to get in your way.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I'm just gonna go right here.
You are A-okay.
About 7,000, only 6 months left.
Have I ever been to Berea? Yes, I have been to Berea quite a few times. It's a great place to watch trains. What is my favorite railroad? Well, what are we talking? Are we talking about fallen flags, or are we talking about current present day railroads? If we're talking fallen flags, I'd have to say Southern Railway. Zippa.way asks, what are those cars sitting there for? Those cars are CSX cars. The local uses those tracks over there, and they oftentimes will keep cars stored over there on that track. No, I do not like the Pennsylvania Railroad. Oregon Railfan 216 says, I love the Albany and Eastern -8s. Glad you did a video on that railroad. Yeah, that video is coming soon. If you guys want early access to my next 3 YouTube videos, consider making a super chat. A super chat of even just $1 will get you early access to those videos, including the Albany and Eastern video. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you can't support the channel monetarily, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. What are Dash 8s, says Sarah G. Colin. Dash 8s are a locomotive produced by General Electric, I believe beginning in 1984 through the late 80s and early 90s, I think, until the Dash 9 was introduced in 1991. The 8 standing for the decade that they were produced in. They were 4,000 horsepower locomotives, and some of the first to feature the signature General Electric safety cab, the one that we all know and, well, many of us hate it, including me, but the one that we see all the time on the GEVOs. Hey Eric, hope you're doing well, man. The Appalachian Rail Fan says, afternoon, Drayton. Hey buddy, hope you're doing well. William Flowers Rail Fanner Production says that his favorite is Burlington